Hey, shalom, shalom. Most High in Christ bless. I'm Captain Yediah, and this is 15 Minutes with the Captain. All right, and today we're dealing with something very, very important, all right? We're dealing with hygiene and cleanliness. That's right. Nothing deep, but very important, very important. We're dealing with hygiene and cleanliness because guess what? You men of the Lord, this pertains to you, all right? You specifically, you represent Christ. Remember, give me Genesis 1. Just popped in my head. Give me Genesis chapter 1. Give me Genesis 1. One thing we as men of the Lord, we as Israelite men must always remember is that we represent the Father, all right? Before you teach them anything, they will always look at you and they will do what? They will make judgments, and you represent something way greater than yourself, all right? So we must come correct. We must look the part. Give me Genesis 1. Give me 26. Come on.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 26.
Come on.
And God said, let us make man in our image.
Let us make man in our image. So we made in the image of what? The Most High, Christ, all the angels. Read.
After our likeness.
After our likeness. Read.
And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea.
You said thing, and have dominion over all the earth. Now go to 2 Samuel 19. Understanding that we made in God's image. We made in the image of Christ. And Christ is the image of the one and only, the true God, the Father. All right. Understanding these things, you should carry yourself with a certain level of dignity. All right. Nobility. Give me 2 Samuel 19. This is what you don't want to do, brothers. This is what you don't want to do, brothers. Read this verse. Come on.
This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 19 and verse 24.
Come on.
And Mephibosheth.
It's a brother named Mephibosheth. You don't want to be Mephibosheth. Come on.
The son of Saul came down to meet the king and had neither dressed his feet.
He had neither what?
Dressed his feet.
He had neither dressed his feet, read.
Nor trimmed his beard.
And he ain't trimmed his beard, read.
Nor washed his clothes.
And he ain't do what?
Nor washed his clothes.
You don't want to be a perpetual Mephibosheth, a bum brother. That's what you don't want to be, brothers. Come on.
Nor washed his clothes from the day the king departed until the day he came again in peace.
So he went all that time. While David was on a run from Absalom, he went all that time neither dressing his feet, washing his clothes. That's what you call a bum lifestyle. We cannot be that way, brothers. We must what? We must first deal with our bodies. Then we must what? Make sure our clothes and our raiment, our apparel is presentable. Because guess what? We understand and we got respect for the ministry. We got respect for the work. And we understand that, guess what? We are the image of God on earth. All right? So from there, give me Ezekiel chapter 5 and verse 1. We must maintain and deal with the body. All right? Give me Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 1. Come on.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 5 and verse 1.
Come on.
And thou, son of man, take thee a sharp knife.
Take thee a what?
A sharp knife.
It said take thee a sharp knife. Go ahead.
Take thee a barber's razor.
So we had barbers back then. Some of you brothers ain't never seen a barber. All right? It says we had barbers back then. Take thee a barber's razor. Go ahead.
And cause it to pass upon thine head.
Some of you brothers need to go to a barber so a razor could pass upon your head. You can get lined up, brothers. It's biblical, all right? Get a shape up. Just don't bald your head. Just don't do the things that are unlawful according to Leviticus 19:27, Leviticus 21 and 5, all right? But it's okay. Give me Ezekiel 44 now. Give me Ezekiel chapter 44. Come on. Give me Ezekiel 44 and let's read verse 20.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 44 and verse 20.
Come on.
Neither shall they shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long.
So now it says don't suffer their locks to grow long. Some of you brothers, y'all let y'all hair grow wild and all over the place. Some of you brothers got dreadlocks, but guess what? They not what? They don't represent the kingdom properly. Some of you brothers, y'all dreadlocks, they growing all over bushy and coming unraveled, matted. You got insects growing in your hair. Come on, brothers. That's not for us. That's not of the Lord. That's of the heathen. They the ones who got ticks and lice biting on them and eating on them all in their hair. That should not be the way of a man of God. It says not suffer their locks to what?
Suffer their locks to grow long.
And your braids or your dread. Don't suffer them to grow long. Go ahead.
They shall only poll their heads. Neither shall any priest drink wine.
So that was all I wanted on that. From there, give me Samuel. Give me Samuel. 2 Samuel chapter 14, verse 25. We rolling. 15 minutes with the captains. We're going to try to get them all in there too. Give me 2 Samuel 14. Give me verse 25. So you brothers who got the braids or the dreadlocks, whatever it may be, hey, listen, just make sure it's kept. Make sure it's neat. It's not sin. All right. Nobody is saying that it's sin, but just make sure that you represent Christ. Christ said the kingdom is within us. So guess what? We got to represent it. The things that's within, guess what? They clearly seen without. All right. Give me that.
The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 14 and verse 25.
Come on.
But in all Israel, there was none to be so much praised as Absalom.
So Absalom was from the tribe of Judah, Israelite man, house of David. Come on.
For his beauty, from the sole of his foot.
It says for his what?
For his beauty.
For his beauty. This is a man, a straight man. All right. Not none of you funny boys out there. This is a straight man, but guess what? He took care of himself. He took a diligent care of how he looked and his outward appearance. Why? Because he represent David's house. David was king. Guess what? You men at home, you represent what? The king of all kings. So how much so more you? All right. Examine yourself. Read that verse again. Come on.
The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 14 and verse 25.
But
in all Israel, there was none to be so much praised as Absalom.
As Absalom. Come on.
For his beauty.
For his what?
For his beauty. From the sole of his foot.
From the what?
The sole of his foot.
Some of you brothers think it's okay for your feet to stink. It's not okay. Fix it. We don't want to smell it. Come on.
Even to the crown of his head.
Even to the crown of his head. Guess what? He made sure what? His feet was in order. His feet was washed. From the sole of his foot to the crown of his head, that's his whole body. That's his whole body was on point. Read.
There was no blemish in him.
And there was no blemish in Absalom. Guess what? We got to take care of our bodies, brothers. All right? The body that was lent to you. It don't belong to you. God lent it to you. You don't know how long you got it. Take care of that thing. From there, give me Jeremiah 2 and verse 22. Give me Jeremiah 2, verse 22. You got that?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and verse 22. For though thou wash thee with nitrate.
It says, though you wash you with nitrate, read.
And take thee much soap.
Take thee what?
Much soap.
You see that thing? So nitrate and soap going into what? Cleansing agents. Both of those are cleansing agents. The nitrate will bubble up and help to get things out of your pores and your crevices. That's what nitrate would do. It says in much soap. That's what getting the dirt off your flesh. So guess what, brothers? As you wash yourself, it's not just water. You need to what? Get in them pores. Use soap. Get rid of the dirt. Get rid of the filth. We tired of seeing thick rings of dirt under your nails. All right? So it says, though you take you nitrate and much soap, guess what? As back then, and these was ancient times, so it should be today, and even more so today. All right? Give me, what is that? Corinthians 3. Give me Corinthians 3 and verse 16. We got to understand something. We're not just regular men. The heathen, those are regular men. All right? The Bible tells you to what? They less than nothing. But you a child of God, and you got to carry yourself as such. Give me Corinthians 3 and verse 16. Come on.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3 and verse 16.
Come on.
Know ye not that ye are the temple of God?
Know ye not, meaning don't you know? Did you forget that you are the temple of God? Think about all the ordinances that involve the temple. Think about the Levitical priesthood, how they had to take care of the temple with such diligent care. All right? They had to wear linen so they couldn't even sweat. That's why many people say what? That cleanliness is next to what? Godliness. Why? Because the Most High God is what? All about cleanliness. There was many laws about cleanliness and washing. When the priests would come, they have to wash their feet. Go back and read their history. The Bible telling you that you are the temple of what? What did it say again?
Know ye not that ye are the temple of God?
You are the temple of God. So guess what? Outside of your body being kept for, as the temple was kept for, you also got to deal with your clothes. All right? You got to deal with your clothes. Give me Sirach 19. Give me Sirach 19 and verse 29. You must also deal with your clothes. Sometimes the Bible say raiment. Sometimes the Bible says apparel. You got to deal with your clothes. Sometimes the Bible say garment. You got to deal with your clothes. You got that? Sirach 19, verse 29.
The book of Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 29. A man may be known by his look.
A man may be known by his look. You might say that you can't judge a book by the cover. So tell me why they go out and spend all them thousands of dollars for an illustrator to make that elaborate cover. Why did they pay an illustrator to make that cover? Because that's the reason you picked up the book. You ain't pick up a book because you read the words through the cover. You judged the book by it and you purchased it. Read that verse again. Come on.
A man may be known by his look.
A man may be known by his look. Go ahead.
And one that hath understanding by his countenance.
Read.
When thou meetest him.
When thou meetest him. You see that? A first impression is a lasting impression. All right. So it says, guess what? A man may be known by his looks. So take some care in your clothes. When people see you, what they do? They look at your face, look at your hair, look at your shirt, look at your shoes. They scan you. All right. Guess what? You as an Israelite man, you as a man of God, a prophet on this earth, a God on earth, you should carry yourself and take care of yourself. From there, give me Isaiah 52. Let's get the commandment. And I know it's twofold, threefold. I understand that. But we're going to deal with what? We're going to deal with the surface so you can apply what's on the surface. All right. Isaiah 52. Give me verse 1. Come on.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 52 and verse 1.
Come on.
Awake, awake. Put on thy strength,
Put
O
on
Zion.
your strength. Go ahead.
Put on thy beautiful garments.
Thy what?
Thy beautiful garments.
No, look bummy.
Thy beautiful garments.
It says put on your beautiful garments. Make sure your clothes is on point, brothers. Haircut, clothes, it goes a long way. Before you ever open your mouth, guess what? People are already learning from you. Give me John 19:23. Because you got many liars out there, especially in the apologetic and Christian community. Oh, Christ was poor. Christ didn't have a house. Christ had a house in Christ. Guess what? When Christ dressed, he was bad. Clothes is on point. He was glorious. Watch this. Give me John 19:23. Read.
The book of John, chapter 19 and verse 23.
Watch this.
Then the soldiers, when they had crucified Jesus, took his garments.
They did what?
Took his garments.
That's how you know his clothes was bad. Imagine how much blood was on Christ's garment. They still wanted it because it was bad. It was glorious. Read.
And made 4 parts to every soldier a part.
You said that, and they made 4 parts. You get this part. You get that part. You get that part. Why? Because it was bad. It was glorious. Read.
And also his coat. Now the coat was without seam.
It says the coat that he had was without seam. You couldn't even see the stitch on it. Whoever made it was cold-blooded. So Christ took care of how he looked. And we're supposed to be ambassadors and followers of Christ. So we're supposed to do the same thing. It says the coat was without seam. You know that thing was bad. Couldn't even see where it was stitched at. Like it came down from heaven like manna. Read that part again. The coat was what?
The coat was without seam.
Give me Exodus 28 now. The coat was without seam. Couldn't see the stitch line. Ridiculous. And you brother saying it's okay because you in this truth. Now, you ain't coming this truth to start acting like a bum. That ain't in the scriptures. Give me Exodus 28 and verse 2. Come on.
The book of Exodus, chapter 28 and verse 2.
Come on.
And thou shalt make holy garments.
Thou shalt make holy garments. This is when they was talking to the priest. But guess what? The same God back then is the same God today. It says thou shalt make holy garments. Read.
For Aaron thy brother, for glory and for beauty.
It says make them for glory and for what?
And for beauty.
Guess what? Your clothes should what? Bring glory and beauty. And then guess what? All that praise goes back to the Father. All that praise goes. We are representatives of the Father at all times. And Christ at all times. This truth at all times. IUIC at all times. Read that verse one more time. Come on.
The book of Exodus, chapter 28 and verse 2. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for glory and for beauty.
For glory and for beauty. Now from there, give me 2 Corinthians 5 and 20, because like I said earlier, remember Christ told us in Luke 17 verse 20, the kingdom is within you. So guess what? When people see you, they should what? They should get a glimpse of the operations of the kingdom. The way you take care of your body, your clothes, the way you carry yourself should what? It should show attributes and that discipline of the kingdom to come. All right, give me that.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 5 and verse 20.
Read.
Now then, we are ambassadors for Christ.
We are what?
Ambassadors for Christ.
You see that thing? A lot of us come from nothing. A lot of us came from dirty, grimy, filthy lifestyles. We ain't never had nothing. We didn't want nothing out of life. But guess what? The Lord called you. And the Lord called you, and it's up to you to make yourself chosen. All right? So you must what? You must look the part. You must act the part. All right? Looking the part is important as well. Because you're an ambassador of Christ. Read that verse again. Come on.
Now then, we are ambassadors for Christ.
We are ambassadors for Christ. I mean, what? An ambassador, he what? He speaks and he communicates on behalf of the king. So guess what? That's you. You think an ambassador who come in with his clothes tattered, hair all over his head, locks matted, stains on his shirt, you think anybody going to take that kingdom seriously? I trust not. So guess what? You, when you go into camp, when you're out and about, guess what? You represent the kingdom. God forbid we ever have an event and the news media shows up. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to come and talk to you because you're dressed like a bum. So they can do what? So they can blame the entire ministry and paint us all out to be some vagabonds and fugitives. Give me 2 Corinthians 6 and 3. Brothers, we cannot be that way. We cannot roll like that, brothers. We cannot roll like that. We represent the kingdom to come. Give me 2 Corinthians 6 and verse 3. Come on.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 3.
Y'all brothers remember this. Come on.
Giving no offense in anything.
It says give no offense in anything. Read.
That the ministry be not blamed.
It says give no offense in anything, that the ministry be not blamed. We have the example in Christ. We have the example in the scriptures. We have the example in the bishops. We have the example in the deacons. We have the example in our captains. Guess what? Follow the blueprint. Get yourself in order. Hygiene and cleanliness is important, brothers. And with that, that's been 15 minutes with the captains. And with that, I say shalom. Most High in Christ bless.
Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with